Hello. Well, today the weather outside is not so good, but every once in a while a little bit of rain needs to fall in our lives. Strong winds and all that sort of thing. And that in some way picks up today's readings. For this, the 28th Sunday in Ordinary Time. As a sort of a background, let me start off with this sort of preface. We are called to recognize our God as the God of our daily lives, not just the Sunday thing. God is life for those who live for nothing but Him, recognizing God as a core to our lives. In the first reading from the Old Testament, second book of Kings, chapter 5, 14 to 17, there's a story of Naaman, the end of the story, where he actually is cured of his leprosy. And then he goes and stands before Elisha and says, "Now I know there is no God in all the earth except in Israel." And then at the end of the quoted part there, "For I no longer offer holocaust or sacrifice to any other God except the Lord." Naaman was going through a tremendous miracle. Not only finds that he's cleansed of body, but now he finds life being poured into his soul. That God is the God for him who gives life forever. Naaman changes his mind because he has a strong physical experience, a physical miracle. St. Thomas, did the same thing. He could touch the wounds in Christ's arms and his side and his feet. And so he didn't have to believe in faith. He had physical evidence. But what's important is from there, not just saying, well, it was a physical miracle, but rather finding that the God who does this sort of thing, who's so powerful and so caring and so loving, is the God that will give me life for all of eternity. And there's the issue. When that Samaritan goes back, the 10th leper who goes back and recognizes that he has been cleansed, and he's the only one, Jesus said, "Where are the other 9? Has none but this foreigner, the Samaritan, who's not a Jew of the type that worshipped in Jerusalem, but rather in Samaria, has this foreigner been the only one to return to give thanks to God? The others had a miracle that cleansed their bodies. But the Samaritan not only had a cleansed body, but his soul was cleansed. The others had a miracle that gave them new life in this world. But the Samaritan had a miracle that had not only new life in this world, but life forever, because Jesus was the one who could give him life for all of eternity. He became God for him. So at the end, Jesus said to him, "Stand up and go. Your faith has saved you." Your faith has saved you. Jesus doesn't say, "My miracle saved you," but rather you read in the miracle a source of life that is forever, and you embrace that sort of source of life, which is in Jesus himself, that God gives life forever. Going on to the second reading from Paul's second letter to Timothy, chapter 2, verses 8 to 13. Toward the end there, that wonderful section. "If we have died with him, we shall live with him." Died with him? Well, of course, it means not physical death so much, although that could possibly happen. But he's really talking about giving up everything else as a source of life, to find only God as a source of life, to die with him. We shall live with him. He is the only source of everlasting life. It's a rejection of everything else as life-giving. To find only God as the one who gives me life and life forever. Then, going on there, if we persevere, we shall also reign with him. Life is a struggle. Life has lots of hardships and difficulties and problems. But it's how you bear with those problems that life will deal out. Do you bear with them walking with the Lord, living in his strength, and drawing upon the strength that he gives us? Or do we bear with them begrudgingly, trying to get through it all on our own? If we're with the Lord, those difficulties and hardships become opportunities to grow in everlasting life. They're not negative experiences. They're turned around, just like making lemonade out of lemons. Then going on still, but if we deny him, he will deny us. It's the opposite of if we have died with him. If we deny him, if we don't recognize him as the source of life, the one who should be everything for us forever, then he will deny us. Because he finds in us no acceptance of the life he wishes to give us. So, we take on the death that we have chosen, the death that is death forever. May the life of the Lord be ours, because we find in him daily life, that all through the day, every day, he is the gracious, kind, wondrous, glorious Lord for us. God bless you. God bless you always.